tariffs plus additional penalties over its Russia ties, Canada stung by 35% duties. Tariff angst apart, other concerns over the US economy in an unusually larger correction, hiring or jobs growth numbers in May and June have been lowered by nearly 260,000. The numbers for the last month in July coming in below what economists had forecast.
At the time, did you know why he was taking those young women, including Virginia?
No, I don't know really why. But I said if he's taking anybody from Mar-a-Lago, he's hiring or whatever he's doing.
Trump denies knowing why Epstein was taking young females from his club in Florida. His latest comments come after he earlier told reporters that he knew that Epstein had stolen a 16-year-old spa attendant, Virginia Giuffre, from his Mar-a-Lago club. Giuffre was sexually assaulted by Epstein. She committed suicide in April this year. President Trump's Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, and U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, made a rare visit to Gaza Friday amid a starvation crisis. The United Nations says since late May, nearly 1,400 people have died along the routes of food convoys. The UN says they have mostly been killed by the Israeli military.
He's done a bad job. Now, he's got a meeting today, but I call him too late. You know, he's always too late. I hear they're going to do it in September, not today. For what reason?
Trump lashing out at Fed Chief Jerome Powell after the U.S. Central Bank once again kept interest rates steady for a fifth meeting in a row. The move is in defiance in what some see as a bullying campaign by President Trump for the Fed to slash borrowing costs. US President Trump is upending the global trade system with a slew of tariffs ranging from a baseline of 10% to as high as 50%. Trump has signed an executive order on the rates, which go into effect in 7 days. Some of the highest tariffs are on Canada, which is now at 35%. Brazil is even bigger at 50%. Mexico, the US's biggest trading partner, has been given a 90-day reprieve. Now, goods imported from India into the United States will face 25% duties after talks to hammer out a mini trade deal failed, but the pain could be far worse. India is also expected to face additional penalties for oil it buys from Russia. No word yet, though, on how much those penalties will be. Meanwhile, preliminary deals with the EU, Britain, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, and others have meant that they face tariffs of between 10 to 20%.
So it's a good deal. It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
It was tough negotiations. I knew it at the beginning, and it was indeed very tough, but we came to good conclusions for both sides.
Let's take a closer look at the deal making with Trump and the fallout. Also, what's next for countries hoping to strike a deal like India? We're joined by William Lee. William is chief economist at the Milken Institute. William, thank you for your time here on this Friday morning. Let's start by talking about those that managed to get that initial deal. On the one hand, it would be tempting to say that they have clarity now, but if we look at the EU, for example, it's seen as heavily tilted in favor of the US, French President Macron calling it a dark day. Why couldn't the EU and other countries have perhaps fought harder?
Well, I believe a lot of the countries have their own national interests in mind, and they don't really want to open up their markets to foreign competition. So you find that a lot of countries don't want to make investments in the United States and partner with the U.S. as President Trump has requested. But I think the overall negotiations done by President von der Leyen has taken the interests of the entire EU in mind, and they find and they agree with other countries that it's much better to partner with the U.S., meaning invest in the U.S., open up their markets to U.S. firms, and integrate more with the world economy than it is to support national champions and stay with a high level of non-tariff barriers. So I think the diversity of views out there is one that still has to be reconciled. But overall, all of the deals that have been made so far are ones that where people who or countries that where they see the benefits of coming into the U.S. market and partnering with the U.S. as overriding benefits to being isolationists.
William, how do you see the US's attempts at a bilateral deal with India playing out? New Delhi was one of the first to start negotiating, and a mini trade deal has really proved to be elusive. What do you make of New Delhi playing hardball and really not giving into Trump's demands?
I believe that's a sad story because at the beginning of this year, when President Trump met with President Modi and the Vice President Vance was there with his family, the attitude toward India was so positive. India could have asked for almost anything and gotten quite a lot of concessions. But right now, because India has chosen to, as I said earlier, not partner with the U.S. and not open up its markets for U.S. firms, and has insisted on trading in the energy markets with Russia as extensively as it has, and continue to promote the BRICS agenda, which is one of trying to at least reduce the role of the dollar in international transactions. These last several months have, I think, pushed India away from the very favorable position that it had at the beginning of this year.
Indeed, that's all we have time for here. Thank you very much, William, for joining us here. And of course, India maintaining its position that it's looking at food security and other reasons why it continues to keep its sectors like agriculture protected. Now, for over 5 million South Asians living in the US, tariffs could have an impact in all kinds of ways. Some worry about the cost of living in the US, which could curb disposable incomes, even hurting how much money they send back to India. The US is India's largest source of remittances. For Indian American entrepreneurs, it's worries over the high cost of imports, be it from India or elsewhere. Now, earlier this week, I met with one small business owner who says she's completely spooked.
Ties with any country, or all the ties that we have with various countries, they stand on their own merit, and they should not be seen from the prism of a third country. As far as India-Russia relations are concerned, we have a steady and time-tested partnership.
For months, it's been a guessing game on tariffs as far as Indian goods imported into the US go, but for stores like this one, the pain has already begun to creep in.
When I say the word tariffs, how do you feel?
My blood pressure goes up high. I get anxiety. Am I gonna survive? I only have one location, and this is my bread and butter. All these lehengas are anywhere from 600 to 900. And this is my bridal collection. This can go anywhere from 1,000 to around 6,000. The year started out pretty good. I would say that people were shopping and buying stuff. This last 1 month has been a huge impact. I was having quite a few customers walk-ins throughout the day, at least 5 to 7. Right now, I'm only seeing maybe 2 to 3. I think with the unknowns, with the tariffs and not knowing what's going to happen, I think everybody's been scared to spend money because now people don't know if they want to shop locally or actually go to India. They don't know where they're going to save money. It's lunch hour. As you can see, There's no one here. There's no traffic.
So it'd be very busy at this time usually?
Yes, absolutely.
And now?
Nothing. My manufacturers are based out of Mumbai and Bangalore and Gujarat. If they increase their prices on us, we have to increase our prices over here.
Do you think your Indian suppliers will absorb the cost?
No, they will not. They'll charge us. Whatever we pay in higher prices, I have no choice but to pass it on to the customers here. I can't, there's no leeway behind it. Businesses in America will suffer.
It's something that should not happen to, especially a small business, or anybody for that matter. No one wants to pay higher prices on goods.
In my 7 years of this industry, I think this is the first time I've faced the unknown. We don't know what's gonna happen. So we're back to the pandemic state of mind. Between the pandemic and the tariffs, I would say the tariffs scare me more.
Some other Indian clothing stores that NDTV spoke to say that they've kept prices stable for now because of unsold inventory from last year, but prices are bound to go up. In Clarksville, Maryland, Alistair D'Souza, NDTV.
Now, according to a new YouGov and Economist poll, Trump's net approval rating has dropped to -15. That's a sharp slide driven by economic pessimism, also soaring prices and growing unease over his handling of immigration. The Jeffrey Epstein scandal is casting a long shadow, with over 2/3 of Americans, including many Republicans, now believing the government is covering up key evidence, while the president still enjoys support in deep red states. Even some of his core voter bloc seniors and white working class men are showing signs of disapproval. Now, this week saw several developments with the Epstein story. Here's what you need to know. One, Democrats have used an archaic law in a bid to get the Justice Department to release more documents related to the deceased child molester. The law from 1928 has seldom been used, and so its success really remains unclear. Now, the other headline on Epstein this week, a CBS investigation of the prison video on the night he died, may have inconsistencies according to the news network. It raises doubt over a person dressed in an orange suit approaching a staircase leading to Epstein's prison cell area. Federal agents have concluded it was a corrections officer, but a forensic video expert told CBS it was likely someone in a prison inmate's jumpsuit. Now, CBS also says only a tiny portion of the staircase was visible on camera, with large portions cut off. Both the Biden and Trump administrations have said Epstein died by suicide and was not murdered. Now, in other news, a Republican-led congressional committee has rejected a request by Epstein's convicted close associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, for immunity if she testifies before Congress. Meanwhile, the family of Virginia Giuffre, an individual sexually abused by Epstein, has urged President Trump not to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Giuffre was 16 when she worked as a locker room attendant at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club way back in the summer of 2000. Giuffre died by suicide in April this year. Giuffre's family are now demanding to know what exactly President Trump knew about Epstein after Trump publicly told reporters this week that Giuffre was stolen from Mar-a-Lago.
Saying that Jeffrey Epstein poached 2 of your staffers. Who were they?
Yeah, I don't want to say 2, or I don't want to say any number. You're talking about many years ago. But yeah, he took people, and because he took people, I said, don't do it anymore. You know, they work for me. And he took, beyond that, he took some others. And once he did that, that was the end of him.
Let's take a closer look at the story. We're now joined by Ankush Karduri, a former federal prosecutor, which is basically a lawyer representing the U.S. government in big federal cases. Ankush, thank you for your time here on Washington Watch. Ankush, U.S. President Trump told reporters he had the authority to pardon Maxwell. He said he has the authority to do so, but no one has asked him to do it yet. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell is, of course, in prison appealing her conviction. What do you see happening? Wouldn't really a pardon only fan those flames of the controversy further?
Yes, I think that's exactly what would happen. The idea of pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell is widely opposed here in the U.S. A recent poll this week showed that only 4% of Americans would support that decision. So I don't think it would work out well for the Trump administration. It's a bad idea, too, as a legal matter. But also, the idea that the president would pardon the only person in prison on heinous sex trafficking charges, child sex trafficking charges, would not really help them out much. I mean, the conspiracy theory, one among others here, is that the U.S. government at the top levels is protecting child sex predators. Now, this is not true, so far as anyone credible can tell, but the idea of Trump pardoning her would ironically be consistent with that theory.
All right, Ankush, the request now to unseal the grand jury testimony was denied by a Florida judge, but the request is still open in New York. However, the Justice Department this week said that the grand jury testimony didn't hear from victims, but just to law enforcement officials. So let's say that's released. Will that really satisfy the MAGA base?
It will not satisfy the MAGA base. In our federal criminal justice system here in the U.S., it is very common for prosecutors to charge a case through a grand jury by presenting testimony only from agents who worked on the case. Their job in that setting is to provide an overview of the investigation and to provide information and evidence to the grand jurors that support the allegations in the indictment and that the government intends to introduce at trial. So what that means is the testimony is focused on the defendants at issue, the charges at issue. It does not roam widely. And if something was not the subject of meaningful discussion at the trial, you should not expect to hear much of it, of anything at all about it in the grand jury. So the questions that people have surrounding this case extend beyond those two cases. And so the notion that this testimony, even if it is unsealed, which it may not be, would meaningfully advance anyone's knowledge here is highly unlikely to me.
Former federal prosecutor Ankush Khardori joining us here on Washington Watch. Thank you. In other news now, the Trump administration's clampdown on higher education could already be having an impact on people wanting to study in the United States. Some are worried the U.S. is losing its competitive edge.
Donald Trump wins the presidency. What started off as unlikely, impossible, is now reality.
In just 8 months, U.S. President Donald Trump's tenure has witnessed relentless attacks on American universities. From slashing research budgets to cracking down on international students to freezing key visa programs. It seems Trump administration is only getting started. Billions in federal research funding have been cut. And in early 2025, the administration froze $2.2 billion in government grants to Harvard University after it refused to comply with new federal rules on hiring and diversity. Consequences are cascading. A Nature survey of 1,600 scientists found out that 3 out of 4 are now considering leaving the US for Europe or Canada, with Trump's policies acting as the final straw. International students, long the backbone of American research, are being turned away. Visa interviews have slowed dramatically, and Chinese students in particular are facing widespread visa revocations. Foreign students contributed $38 billion to the American economy in 2023, supporting over 415,000 jobs. That pipeline is now under threat. In the startup world, the impact is already visible. Paul Graham, co-founder of Y Combinator, says founders are choosing to launch in London over New York, citing random deportations and an increasingly hostile climate for high-skilled immigrants. Meta's chief AI scientist warns the US is destroying its public research funding system. He says many scientists are actively exploring Plan B options in Europe. And it's already happening. British citizenship applications from American nationals rose 26% in 2024. Immigration lawyers in London report a surge in inquiries from American researchers seeking a way out. When a country's most skilled minds leave in search of better opportunities abroad, it's called brain drain. For decades, America was on the receiving end. Today, it's the one bleeding talent.
Make America great again.
Trump's America First promise is now triggering this unintended consequence. And this time, it's America's future that's walking out of the door.
I will never, ever let you down.
With Rhythm Arcadia, NDTV World.
An increased sense of unease on Harvard's campus after the university agreed to a Trump administration demand Harvard would submit employment forms on thousands of staff it employs. These forms are used to verify the employment authorization of individuals hired for work in the United States. Now, Harvard says it will not be handing over details on jobs only open to students. Now, the latest demand is part of the government's ongoing battle with Harvard over pro-Palestinian protests. Let's take a closer look at how these employment details could affect foreign staff, including Indians working on Harvard's campus. We are joined by immigration attorney Pratibha Agarwal. For more, Pratibha, thank you for your time here on Washington Watch. Pratibha, the Trump administration wants to see these employment forms, or I-9 forms, handed over by Harvard. What details are usually in there, and what in there could really land someone in trouble?
Sure, thank you. Thank you for having me. So the I-9 form is a document that all U.S. employers are required to complete, usually on the first day of employment for all U.S. employees. So what's on the I-9 form? The I-9 form has some identifying information about the employee, but what it also is requiring the employer to do is physically verify that they have permission to legally work in the United States.
All right, and how could what's in there land someone in trouble?
Absolutely. So the typical scenario would be if someone put false information in the I-9 form. For example, let's say I am at my first day of work and I claimed that I was a US citizen and perhaps I did not have authorization to work in the United States. What would happen then? This is misrepresentation. It could be considered fraud. It could prevent me from becoming a US citizen. It could prevent me from obtaining a green card. Another way that someone could land in trouble with regard to an I-9 form, and I think this is probably more likely the scenario with Harvard, is, for example, let's say the employer, such as Harvard, verified the employment documents on day one of employment. Let's say it's a student who had work authorization for 1 year to 3 years. That authorization could have expired. It could be an oversight on the employee's side. It could be an oversight maybe on the HR side of Harvard. This would put the student out of status. So this could impact them from, one, extending their student status. It could impact them from moving to a different visa type, like an H-1B, which is very common for students to move into, and it could ultimately impact their eligibility for a green card.
Right. Thanks very much indeed, Pratibha, immigration attorney, joining us here on Washington Watch. Let's take a look at some other top stories making news this week. Let's head to Gaza to look at an important visit by the U.S. envoy there as well. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff says he spent over 5 hours in Gaza on Friday to assess the humanitarian crisis firsthand. In a post on X, he said the visit was aimed at giving President Trump a clearer picture of the situation and helping shape a plan for delivering food and medical aid. Witkoff and U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, also held talks with Israeli officials a day earlier to discuss the worsening conditions in the enclave. Time now for some other news in brief. The White House is getting a makeover, and not a small one. President Donald Trump has announced a $200 million plan to build a 90,000 square foot ballroom on the grounds, calling it beautiful and long overdue. The new structure will replace the East Wing and seat up to 650 guests, a major upgrade from the current 200-person East Room capacity. Funded by Trump and private donors, construction is expected to be completed before his term ends in 2029. A major leap in Earth observation. The US and India have successfully launched one of the most advanced radar satellites ever built. The $1.5 billion joint mission between NASA and ISRO will monitor changes in the Earth's surface down to a centimeter, from glaciers melting to land deformation and wildfires. The satellite will scan nearly the entire planet every 6 days and is being hailed as the new chapter in space collaboration between the two democracies. India has officially overtaken China as the top smartphone exporter to the United States, driven largely by Apple's rapid shift in production. New data shows that India accounted for 44% of all US smartphone imports this quarter, a staggering jump from just 13% a year ago. Meanwhile, China's share has plunged to 25%. It's a dramatic reshuffling of global tech supply chains, one that could redefine where your next iPhone is made. That's it for Washington Watch. I'm Alistair D'Souza.
Cheerios. A breakfast that's high in fibre, from oats, wheat and barley. That's a little win. Cheerios. Little O's make little wins.
With II's low-flat pension fees, you could retire with more.
Really?
Open an interactive investor personal pension today.
It feels good knowing that your future's in hand. Evlo can offer you a loan from £1,000 to £15,000, whether it's for home improvements or for some of life's big moments. Evlo looks beyond your credit score and always takes a case-by-case approach. Visit evlo.co.uk to get your conditional decision in minutes.
I started the brand from my love of the sea and cold water surfing. Shopify allowed us to do what we do really well without worrying about the website. I never imagined that Finisterre would be the size it is or have the impact it's had. We're Finisterre and we're powered by Shopify.
This is an important message for people living with diabetes, from people living with diabetes.
When I was experiencing the symptoms of diabetes, I didn't know what was going on.
You go on the internet and it's full of horror stories. You don't know where to begin and you don't know what to believe.
I didn't understand about carbs, I didn't understand about blood glucose levels.
I was scared and I was worried.
I didn't understand diabetes full stop.
That's why the support I get as a Diabetes UK member is so important.
You can become a Diabetes UK member too. To join us now, just call 0800 144 5406 and become a member today for just £3 a month. When you do, you'll receive a practical guide specific to your type of diabetes and a copy of Balance magazine 4 times a year. Balance is filled with news and inspiring real-life stories from members just like you. And you'll receive regular emails and vital updates that will help you feel informed and supported. Plus, you'll help support research that could lead to better treatments for all types of diabetes.
Membership makes life better because you're not alone anymore.
Call 0800 144 5406 or go online to become a Diabetes UK member for just £3 a month, because membership can help you learn to live better with diabetes.
Life's full of times like this. Oh yeah. The gaps between the good stuff. Okay. Like killing time in waiting rooms. It's not long until you've had enough. David, it's time for some tombola. Bingo 90, while your car gets made all shiny. Deal or no deal's exciting, so your ready meal is piping. Grounded on the runway, open for fun. Paddling on your staycay, open for fun. Yeah, well done.
With Post Office Over 50's life cover, enjoy peace of mind knowing your family will receive a guaranteed payout when you're gone. UK resident 50 to 80, your guaranteed acceptance. No health checks and from just £1.15 a week. Plus free 24/7 GP access with the health and wellbeing benefit. Purchase and receive a £125 gift card for amazon.co.uk, Tesco or M&S. Call Post Office on 0800 171 2211.
Don't let gaps in your travel insurance spoil your holiday. Go without the doubt. Insure and go. Call 0800 198 0198. Trusted by over 27 million travellers.
And here's the dining room. There's a lovely garden, plenty of room for a trampoline. It's beautiful.
Our relationship with money is formed from a young age.
Nice to meet you both.
Well, we've seen a house we really like.
That's why we're here to help you take control and find a mortgage that suits you, whether you're buying, moving, or looking for a better rate. Barclays. Make money work for you.
Whatever you need to ask about cancer, Macmillan's free support line is just a call away.
Hello, Macmillan.
Whether it's money,
am I going to lose my job?
Getting on with life,
Can I still go abroad? Get insurance?
or just need someone to listen,
How do I tell them?
our specialist advisors are here to help as often as you need them. Whatever you need to ask, cancer, money, life, call us now on 0808 134 1000.
With Virgin Media, get smooth, lightning fast M125 broadband for under £24 a month. And no setup fee. Switching is simple. We'll handle everything for you. Visit virginmedia.com.
We should have left centuries ago.
It's okay. I'm with the AA.
Because the AA has more expert patrols in more places than anyone else, you'll be back on the road in no time. That's why millions of drivers choose the AA. Join today.
This summer, PlusNet's great value broadband's got you covered. Sit back and relax with full fibre from just $24.99 a month. It's fast and reliable with speeds up to 900 megabits. Oh, and award-winning too. So you can really, really relax. As a plus, call or visit plus.net to switch to us today. Offer ends 6th of August.
Someone's happy. Get that lucky cow feeling with luckycowbingo.com/bingo. The site that's bursting with beautiful bingo games. 75 ball bingo. Even 90 ball bingo. Fill your bingo boots today. Get that lucky cow feeling at luckycowbingo.com/bingo or download the Lucky Cow Android app from the Play Store.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Doling out a clear threat that the Congress will go after them.
इलेक्शन कमीशन में जो भी ये काम कर रहे हैं, राइट फ्रॉम द टॉप टू द बॉटम, आप एक बात याद रखिए, आपको हम छोड़ेंगे नहीं. कुछ भी हो जाए, हम छोड़ेंगे नहीं आपको, क्योंकि आप हिंदुस्तान के खिलाफ काम कर रहे हो. ये ट्रीजन है और कम इससे कम नहीं है. आप कहीं भी हो, रिटायर्ड हो, कुछ भी हो, ठीक है, हम आपको ढूंढ के निकालेंगे.
The government hit back, saying that Rahul Gandhi is attacking the democracy.
राहुल गांधी जिस तरीके से भारत विरोधी भाषा बोलते हैं, उसका विरोध ऑपोजिशन पार्टी भी कर रहे हैं. ऑपोजिशन पार्टी के कई सीनियर सदस्य ने भी कहा है कि भारत के इकोनॉमी, भारत का छवि को इस तरीके से दबा के कोई बात नहीं कर सकता.
Later in the day, the Election Commission responded to Rahul Gandhi's threat. The poll panel said it ignores such baseless allegations. It added that despite the daily threats being given, we ask all election officials to ignore such irresponsible statements and work in a fair and transparent manner.
Well, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, who's also the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, has once again intensified his attack against the Election Commission of India, this time making personal attacks at the CEC, Gyanesh Kumar. And he has said that even if these officials retire in near future, they will have to be punished and they have to pay a price for what they have allegedly done. He has taken them on, calling them, calling the act of SIR, the Special Intensive Revision of Electoral Rolls, an act of vote loot or an act of betrayal. Now, the EC has said that everything that Rahul Gandhi is saying with regard to SIR is completely mythical and it's based on his own assumptions and lies. And the BJP has also accused him of trivializing the issue and undermining the autonomy of ECI. Rahul Gandhi is also all set to protest against the ongoing exercise in Karnataka on the 4th of August. And all of this comes on a day when the ECI has already published its draft electoral list and has shared it with all national parties.
The opposition and the poll panel have been at loggerheads over the issue of voter list revision in Bihar. The opposition, led by the Congress and RJD, have dubbed the exercise hasty and vote-bandi and has held protests in Parliament. The poll panel has now come out with a draft voter list after the SIR exercise and has circulated among the political parties, who have a month to raise objections. In the exercise, the voter list has been trimmed by 65 lakh votes, including those who have died or have shifted permanently out of the state. The SIR matter is also pending in the Supreme Court. NDTV Bureau Report.
Joining me on the show tonight, O.P. Rawat, former CEC, Tom Vadakkan representing the BJP, Dr. Anshul Avijit is National Spokesperson of the Congress, Sanjay Kumar, Professor CSDS, and Professor Anwar Pasha is spokesperson of the RJD. Dr. Anshul Avijit, in the month of June, the Election Commission had written a letter, to be specific on June 12th, to Rahul Gandhi asking him to come and give proof because he had raised questions regarding irregularities, alleged irregularities in Maharashtra Assembly elections. Why hasn't the Congress party and the former Congress chief, who is presently the leader of opposition, not responded to that? And then he has come up with another set of allegations today.
The question is completely and utterly misplaced, Maria, if I can say so. The question is not about the leader of opposition. The leader of opposition, by the way, represents all the India bloc parties, other parties as well.
No, you have not answered my question. I am asking,
hang on a minute.
When an email was sent by the Election Commission, why wasn't it replied to?
Why are you putting the opposition and the leader of the party in the dock when everything has been done, when the travesty has been committed by the Election Commission?
I've been asking questions, Anshul, don't say anything like that. I've been raising all questions on SIR.
I know you have.
Reply to my question.
We will bring out all nature of, as said by Mr. Rahul Gandhi today, we will bring out all nature of proof whenever we can. We will do it. We are gathering proof. We've already gathered it. It's not supposed to dictate to the leader of the opposition when to bring proof. We are questioning the entire SIR process, which we think is a wrongdoing, which subverts the democratic process. That is what the big question is. Now, I don't understand, Maria. I mean, you've been doing stories on it. You know the loopholes in conducting such an onerous exercise a couple of months before the election with 8 crore eligible voters. You know, in a population of Bihar, which is 14 crore or nearly 14 crore, we don't know because the census hasn't been conducted yet. 8 crore voters here, with lakhs of officials involved, we don't really know how many. And a cumbersome documentation process has been done within a time frame of 1 month. Isn't that so highly suspicious? Now, every time we raise questions, that is the problem here. Every time the opposition, including the leader of the opposition, questions that are yours, that are mine, that are the Aam Aadmi's questions, that are the journalist questions, that are the civil society's questions, the opposition comes under dock.
No,
when we say the economy is completely wrecked.
No,
hang on. No, why is the show on the opposition,
because
by the way?
If you are saying that the votes are being stolen...
Everyone is saying it. No. Arey, go to Bihar. You've been to Bihar. You're from Bihar.
Anshul,
everyone is saying
don't
it. Yaar,
see
we will bring out the
as against you or against the opposition. I'm asking that why haven't you given the proof of this alleged
We will give it. Why should it determine? We are the responsible.
Vote chori when After the Maharashtra elections, you have alleged it. After Madhya Pradesh polls, you have alleged it. Then why haven't you given the proof? One.
You can't have a gun to our head and give us we are the leader of the opposition.
There is a problem in this argument.
There is a leader of the opposition.
While I will
agree
with what RJD has done here, they have taken the issue up while the SIR was going on in Bihar to the Supreme Court. They haven't got relief from the Supreme Court. This entire exercise hasn't been stayed, which means the exercise continued and today the list was published. My question
the first draft is hiding. Read the first draft. I haven't got time to read it, Maria.
That's why I'm asking Professor Anwar Pasha would have read it.
The first draft itself.
Professor Anwar Pasha would have read it. Professor Anwar Pasha, I'm looking at this list. Of course, we have some very sketchy details of this. And it talks about top 10 vote losers districts, which is Gopalganj, which is of course an RJD bastion. Purnia, Kishanganj, Madhubani, Bhagalpur, Saharsa, Sitamarhi, Samastipur, Saran, Sheohar. All these districts, perhaps, Sanjay Kumar will be able to give us a sense of how it played out in 2020. But as of today, Professor Anwar Pasha, does the RJD have evidence that there has been exclusion and substantive exclusion only of your voters?
Maria Shakil Saiva, good evening. The people of the country, they have the perception, first time, they have this perception about the election commission. This election commission is not the election commission. This is exclusion commission, deletion commission. This is the general perception of the people in Bihar and in country as well. Because the main motto of this election commission is to exclude the names of the voters from the list. And this is not only the exclusion of the names of the voters from the list in such a large number. This is the world record. This will go into the Guinness books of world records. The way the names are being excluded, this is a history. And not only that, the voters whose names will not appear in the list, they are going to lose their voters' voting right. They are also going to lose their citizenship rights. They will be losing all the facilities they are getting in the country as citizens. So this is a big problem for us. That's why there is this controversy. I think up till now, there was no such controversy at such level about any election before this. So this is the first time that such an controversy has taken place.
Tom Badakan, the fact is that it's your government in Bihar. It's JDU, BJP, which is ruling. In this list, are there those who are your voters who have been deleted then? Because some parties' voters have faced deletion.
Obviously, this is not the question of one party's voters list has been deleted.
Professor Pasha, let Tom Badakan respond.
Maria.
Yes.
The Election Commission has admitted that 65 lakh voters were removed, out of which 35 lakh have migrated, and they are not in the addresses mentioned. 22 lakh have died. 7 lakh double voters in two different constituencies, and 1.2 lakh yet to submit their forms. Now, the Election Commission on its site has clearly indicated the electoral roll. Now, these gentlemen, especially the LOP, is talking about an atom bomb which will destroy the election. Extraordinary statement. And he says that he will get after them. What do you mean? He will eliminate them? Or whatever consequences. If this is not treason, what is, Maria? Because here is the ECI's claim that they have said, Rahul Gandhi has said, match fixing and industrial rigging. Where does he get this information from? Industrial rigging. Is this about booth capturing that they practiced earlier? I don't see any industrial scale of rigging. Or is it now? Then he says Karnataka, big fraud. Bless me. What is the Karnataka big fraud? He won the election. And what is the big fraud that has been committed? Okay. The end result is one. He's won in Himachal. He's won in Telangana. So election commission is at the best of. When he loses, he takes this advanced bail. And his advanced bail is essentially...
No, but this time around, Tom Vadakkan, in case of SIR in Bihar, it's not that elections have happened. So there has been no victor or loser here. If there are concerns with regards to this entire exercise, and of course, the opposition hasn't got any relief, the petitioners haven't got any relief from the Supreme Court, their concerns may be seen as valid concerns.
Maria, they are welcome to the Election Commission. The Election Commission has been calling them, but they refuse to do that. They are grabbing headlines outside. I mean, basically, the Election Commission is ready to hear their problems. But if there is a problem, the other option for them is go and file election petition. Go to the courts, do a legal approach. No, they won't do that.
Let me bring in Sanjay Kumar. Sanjay Kumar, when we look at these districts, keeping in mind 2020 polls, who tends to gain or lose?
I won't remember the verdict in each of these districts, but if you look at the nature of these districts, some of these districts have a very large Muslim population. And if we go by, the survey details, we know that Muslims have voted for a very large number in favor of RJD and its allies. So yes, I think there is a clear evidence that these are the constituencies where RJD has done much better compared to RJD's performance, RJD and its allies in other constituencies. But I think that election commission might offer a logic why higher deletion are higher in these constituencies, these districts. Maybe because they would say the number of people unknown who were not found on the locations were high in these districts. But I think yes, generally these are the districts where RJD's performance is much better compared to other parts of Bihar.
Okay, so that perhaps explains their concerns here. O.P. Rawat. That is the reason why the opposition is concerned here. Mr. Rawat. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Actually, the concern of all people, all voters and opposition parties is that all those people whose names are omitted from the voter list or deleted from the voter list, they will not have enough time to appeal and to get those appeals adjudicated fully before the elections, because the elections to the assembly are around the corner. 22nd November, the term of assembly expires and elections have to be completed well before that. Therefore, first week or second week, there will be election. So there won't be any time. In our country, appeals take months.
Yes, so
and
Mr. Rawat, would you say then that the Election Commission, if they wanted to do this kind of intensive revision, they could have done like it happened in 2003. It started 2 years in advance.
Yeah, plenty of time. Even this year, even if they wanted to do this with effect from 1st April, they could have done. So that there was at least 4 or 5 months time for all those people whose names are omitted. Right now, there will be hardly a month. That's the tragedy.
So would you say then the onus on ensuring that the general perception and the general public actually has faith in the electoral process, that they believe that this exercise is free and fair, is on the Election Commission right now, that they are under the scanner, they have to come clean as to why did they undertake this exercise when those who have been deleted will not have time for appeal?
In fact, if they want to come clean, they should set up hundreds of appellate courts in those districts where large number of deletions are there. And if appeals come, they must ensure that these are disposed of within 15 days, not more.
Okay.
Will that be possible?
Yes, Sanjay Kumar?
No, I was asking Rawatji that do you think will that be possible that hundreds of appeal come and will election commission officials be able to dispose these in such a short span of time?
That is what election commission has to do.
Okay, Tom Vadakan?
Do you consider non-citizens as voters? Is that an accepted attitude in this panel?
Mr.
People
Vadakan,
without...
going with the same revision, elections happened in Bihar and across the country in 2024. At that time, there was no deletion of this 65 lakh.
Maria, the issue here is there's been huge induction of foreign citizens.
So foreign citizens voted during Lok Sabha, sir. Are you saying that?
They may have voted, but now it is clear-cut, established that they are on the list right now. Whether they did it at that time or not, Election Commission's duty is to filter out these people. That
so,
is
the irony here is, Mr. Vadakan, you're from the BJP, you're defending the Election Commission, but here is O.P. Rawat, the former CEC, who's raising questions on the Election Commission's larger role.
Well, I don't know what his mindset is or what he thinks about. He has an individual view. He's not representing the Election Commission.
No, but then why should the BJP be defending Election Commission?
We are not defending the Election Commission. We are talking about an institution which is part of democracy, which is being threatened. They will bomb it with an atom bomb and there will be no Election Commission. Is that the way any LOP should speak? They have a problem, come to the Election Commission. Talk to them. Process of dialogue is always possible.
The issue here is, Anshul Avijit, if the Congress was having any kind of doubt on the entire level playing field with regards to Maharashtra elections, they could have perhaps approached the Election Commission or approached the Supreme Court ahead of those elections. Now that the results are out in the public domain, you will be seen as a loser. It's very different from what the petitioners have done in the case of Bihar. While the exercise is ongoing, they have questioned it.
No, Maria, that's what the BJP wants and that's what everyone is saying. This is an absurd argument. कि आप कोर्ट कचहरी के चक्कर काटते रहो, अपील का कभी डेट फिक्स होगी नहीं. That will never happen. I mean, that's the entire, the process becomes a punishment. That's the cliche we've been working on. It makes no effect. Can you not see the wrongdoing, the travesty by the Election Commission? Okay, forget these words. These are strong words, whatever. Can you not see that even a hint of suspicion by what the Election Commission has done? Everyone sees it. Forget the opposition. We are the spokespersons of the people. We represent 200 crore people. Let's not undermine what the opposition... In the legislature, there is the treasury
Nobody
benches,
is undermining
and there is the
anything,
opposition.
Anshul.
Nobody is also trying to... 200 की आवाज है हम. 200
आप बहुत सारे लोगों की आवाज है और अच्छी आवाज है. हम कोई आप पे डाउट नहीं कर रहे. मेरा सवाल है नहीं, सवाल ये है कि मैल प्रैक्टिस कैनॉट बी सीन पोस्ट इलेक्शंस. दिस वोट की चोरी कैनॉट बी अबाउट आफ्टर द रिजल्ट्स आर डिक्लेयर्ड. It can be if you are preempting it, just like what Professor Anwar Pasha is saying right now. And he has got support in the former CEC also, who says that this exercise, if the list is out, which is out today, those who are not in the list and feel that they must be part of the list because they have the relevant documents, then do they have time for appeal? That is the big question, and that's why I'll bring in Sanjay Kumar. Sanjay Kumar, let's try and wrap up this discussion. 30 seconds to you, sir. Please go ahead.
I think the exercise which has been started by Election Commission for cleaning the electoral roll, I think it has created more mess. Look what has happened. Election Commission has mentioned that almost 95% people have actually submitted back the forms. But a very large number of them, of those, almost 60-70% have not submitted the proof. That was the essential requirement, that you submit a proof of residence, the place where you're living. That has not been submitted. And now, in the next 1.5 months' time, voters are expected to submit those documents. Imagine how the matching is going to be done. You have submitted the form earlier, now you're submitting the proof, and imagine the mess which is going to be created, that matching these forms with these documents which is being required. So I don't know what is going to be the outcome. Will there be really a clean electoral roll, or what is going to be the outcome of the whole exercise?
Point well taken, Sanjay Kumar. Always a pleasure having you on my shows. Professor Anwar Pasha, Dr. Anshul Avijit, Tom Vadakkan and O.P. Rawat, thank you for joining us. That's all from me on this edition of The Last Word. A special documentary, in fact a special interview coming up in just a few minutes. Stay tuned.
Some people think life slows down in your 50s, but I'm just getting started. And I don't want my lot to have to worry about funeral costs. Let them spend their money on nicer things. So I decided to learn more about over 50s life insurance from Cover Today. They're the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period. Unlike other insurers who could make you wait up to 2 years, with Cover Today, you're fully covered from day one. And you're covered for the whole of your life. Unlike other things in life, the price never goes up. Go online or talk to their friendly UK team in just one phone call. Cover Today are the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period and no annoying trips to the doctors either.
Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Now I'm with Cover Today, I can get on with something much more interesting.
To get a free life insurance quote, call our friendly UK team on 0800 470 4474 or visit covertoday.co.uk.
Don't let gaps in your travel insurance spoil your holiday. Go without the doubt. Insure and go. Call 0800 198 0198.
We all know animals have feelings. They depend on kindness, just like you and me. So imagine how they feel when they're beaten, starved, and unloved. Every minute, the RSPCA is called on to save animals in physical agony and mental torment. It's unbearable to see the pain in their eyes. We refuse to give up on them, but to rescue them from a life of fear, we urgently need animal lovers like you to donate today. Please, call 0800 121 4260 or text KIND to 84903 to give £2 a month to the RSPCA. Your gift will help fund more life-saving rescues, more emergency treatment, and more gentle rehabilitation. Every month, you'll be helping to keep animals free from pain and sadness, so they can find the comfort and joy they deserve. Right now, across the country, thousands are suffering deliberate harm. But together, we can show animals what kindness feels like. Together, we can rescue them. So please, call 0800 121 4260, text KIND to 84903, or visit our website to start your monthly donation today. Thank you.
Fancy a free game? Beat the banker in Tombola's daily free Deal or No Deal game. There's up to £1,000 to be won. Play for free every day.
Aye, aye. Aye, aye. Aye, aye.
Good idea. It's never too early to consider my pension options.
With II's low flat pension fees, you could retire with more.
Really? Aye.
Helping you get the most out of your pension.
Nice. Aye, aye, aye.
So many investment opportunities!
Interactive Investor, a WIT recommended SIP provider 3 years running. The II SIP, your personal pension.
Cheerios. A breakfast that's high in fibre, from oats, wheat and barley. That's a little win. Cheerios, little O's make little wins.
If you have cancer, you may feel overwhelmed with worries.
Will I lose my hair?
How bad will my side effects be?
How do I cope with waiting?
What happens now?
Whatever your cancer worries, Macmillan is here for you. Whether you're anxious about side effects, waiting for test results or appointments, or just need someone to listen, don't struggle alone. Whatever you need to ask, we're here for you 7 days a week. Call Macmillan for free now on 0808 258 8000.
car, its performance, etc. In this very special show, we're talking about the Tesla. We're talking about the economics of India that allows for a Tesla right now, the demand it could be seen, and why so much excitement about the EV space. But I'm not going to do this by myself. To help me really take you through Teslanomics, I have invited along on this shoot Mr. Dinesh Thakkar. All of you know him, of course, as the force behind Angel One, a veteran market voice. But I don't know how many of you know that he's a complete auto enthusiast and has a garage, which I think is everyone's envy. Thank you so much, Mr. Thakkar, for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity. As I also am a car enthusiast, so definitely I would really be very excited to drive this car with you and plus engage in markets and plus some talks on my car garage.
Yeah. So by the way, I don't know if you guys know, but he has McLarens, Porsches, and believes in performance over luxury. I think that is one thing that you're going to be looking for. Is this about style and how much of it is about performance?
See, for Tesla, I would say I would look at kind of like innovation, what they have brought in. Apart from being EV, I think this company innovates a lot. And we also being into a field where we believe innovation is going to create deep penetration. So that is a common element what I am looking at Tesla. Tesla is nothing but a computer on wheels. So that way, I would say it is more than a car.
You know, the biggest test, at least for any car company and even for a Tesla, is grappling with Mumbai roads. So let's see how that goes. All right, we're starting off our drive, and as has been explained to us, first of all, are you excited?
Yeah, definitely. Very excited.
I promise to drive as well as I can. Thank you. Thank you
I
for
fully
trusting
trust
me
you.
with this. So the way this works is pretty interesting. So I have to, everything is on this screen. There's pretty much nothing here in the center of the car. It's very different from what you see. Nothing around the steering wheel. Everything is from the screen. Now, that can be, I think, excellent if once you get used to it. Perhaps right in the beginning, it'll take some getting used to, because that's not how other cars usually work. So here we go. And we're off. So you know what's exciting about this, Dinesh? I feel that the way they've made this so intuitive. I'm going to start the conversation talking a bit about Tesla, and the whole concept of this conversation, of course, with Dinesh Thakkar, has been to talk about Teslanomics. Has Tesla's time come in India? We've been waiting for this for at least a decade now. By the time it has come, there are other competitors, but Tesla still has that brand value. So some of your thoughts on that. First, Mr. Thakkar, considering that you are truly a car lover and you believe in performance over luxury.
See, Tamanna, what I see is that Tesla is a company who really innovated and built all their cars from grassroots level as an EV. So technology, what they are using is purely thought based on how EV should function, how EV should look like. So you look at all the functions like over here, everything is on the dashboard, which unlike EVs that we see, which are converts from internal combustion engine to this, they are more luxurious car where all the software is fitted. This I am feeling as if it is a computer on wheels. So everything is like so well kind of like designed and so user friendly, and that is really, this is first time I'm sitting as close to steering wheel as I can sit, so I can see all these functions, and that excites me.
Are you pointing out to the fact that I've pulled my seat really up front so that my legs can reach?
So that is what I'm saying. Even like you were concerned about whether I would be able to reach accelerator and brake properly, I can see that you are in a well position.
Yeah.
And I had to align my seat so that I am totally aligned to your seat, and I am sitting as close to seat as, and that is helping me to really understand these functions better.
When this whole news came about that Tesla is coming into India finally, before that, a lot of news about what were the conditions that were needed for Tesla to come into India. The Indian government wanted some investments, etc. What would be the pricing be, tariffs? Now that it has actually come in, Do you think this is something that's going to be exciting for Indian consumers?
I feel that they have come half-hearted. I would have expected them to come full-hearted, agree to what government had asked for, because India is a big market. So investment of 500 million US dollar and Indianizing their kind of like components in next 3 years was something I think Tesla should have gone for. But maybe currently they want to try out on a test case basis whether actually this market is really good for commitment. Because this commitment is going to go beyond 500 million, but it is win-win situation for Tesla as well as for India. I hope that this experiment, what they are doing currently with just a few dealership over here, goes beyond that. And I feel price point currently is just too high because of import duty that they have to pay around 110%. And once they agree to terms what government has set, they can bring in this car by paying just 15% import duty. By that, they will be able to price it properly at 40 lakh around, which is the segment where India is really seeing good growth.
When we're talking about Teslanomics, and we spoke a fair bit about the car, I want to link it to and get your view on this consumption boom in India. This is something which I think even market has been betting on since budget this year, because these tax cuts came in. The premiumization theme has been there in Indian markets, in the economy for quite some time. How do you see this product and this launch in that bigger picture? Just as an example, there's a real estate developer who's come into Mumbai for the second time, a Delhi-based developer who's starting apartments at 6.5 crores. So those are the same guys who are going to come out and buy cars like this, isn't it?
Yeah, I think India, in terms of being aspirational and being a big consumption story, still, I think the story has just begun. If you look at current, our per capita income would be average around US 2,800 something. And we have seen big kind of consumption story play out when per capita income goes to 5,000 and 10,000, which is just maybe 5 to 10 years away. So I feel that brands like this who are thinking about being in India and capture this big consumption story, they have to look at next 25 years. They have to look at Viksit Bharat year 2047. And if you look at this category of HNI, what we call, or emerging HNI, who are earning between 50 lakh to 1 crore, that population is growing at the rate of 14 to 15%. So that is the fastest growth across the globe. And brands like Tesla, who are really trustworthy, who can really bank big on this consumption story, they should take serious view about next 10, 20 years rather than taking kind of a short-term view. So I believe this consumption story and aspiration story of India has played out well, and it is a beginning, I would say.
You know, let's talk a bit about your passion for cars. Because this is something you really have bragging rights on. What is the latest addition to your collection, and how often are you driving?
Latest I bought McLaren 750S, which is a special kind of 60-year edition what they came out. It is only one in India. So that is my latest kind of like equation in my garage. And I drive it often, like every weekend we go for a drive. 15 days back, I took my AMG GT Black Series, which is AMG's track car version. And Black Series is supermost model in terms of performance. We took it to Netrex. Netrex is an this thing, track built for automobile testing and all that. Over there, any speed is allowed. So I drove my car at 325 km/h, which is legal, official. So I have a good kind of like collection of car. I'm fond of performance car. So when I started my car collection in 2015, actually, I started very late because I was busy in business. So I did not want to get distracted. So I started with buying a Mini Cooper, which was 180 horsepower. And today, as we speak, all my cars I bought are 750 horsepower. And 0 to 100 is within, say, like below 3 seconds.
Just coming back to the point of appetite right now, with what we're seeing in the markets, and I'm just switching gears over there a little bit. That's car.
There are no gears over here, so we have to switch.
So we have to switch gears and drive the conversation in a different direction. Oh, I can do this all day. Okay, I just want to talk about the fact that FIIs just seem to be very, very cautious on India, and which is why you look at corporate results, a mixed bag, not that great in parts, but definitely not the kind of disappointment you should see with the FII selling. What do you think is the cause of concern right now?
I think these last 2 quarters we have seen a perfect storm for our market, where we saw US tariff being uncertain. Definitely it creates uncertainty and people would like to wait and watch. And we saw even in terms of global inflation, everything was too high. So there is a concern in terms of how US dollar will behave, and geopolitical issues and all that. Things are sorting out. I feel by quarter 3, 4, you will see again corporate earning picking up. As I said, that tariff matter also will get resolved. Good, bad, whatever. What investor wants, certainty. So I'm very kind of hopeful. See, what has kept this market up is retail money. So I'm seeing retail inflows have continued to flow in our market. And today as we speak, retail is holding around 18% of market cap. So in that sense, even retail is under-owning this asset class. If you look at the way they are investing, the way this asset has appreciated. I was just looking at data. Retail's AUM in the market, direct and indirect, was around 16.5 lakh crore, which as we speak is around 70 lakh crore. So they have seen appreciation of around CAGR of 15% on that wealth. So what I see is that they will continue to remain in this market, which keeps our market steady. Now imagine FIs coming in and putting in around 2 lakh crore per year, what they used to put in. We are going to see a good steady market in terms of liquidity. Now if you look at current account deficit, our fiscal deficit is very disciplined. Oil prices are favorable. So I am seeing lots of reason to be optimist for the market.
Earnings growth is
exactly.
quite muted. No?
Yeah. So I think everything is going to pick up. We have to just wait for a few quarters. I'm not seeing market to be giving any sharp correction. It may consolidate for some time, and then we'll see a good appreciation from there on.
We're getting to this interesting part of the drive, the coastal road again. Switching gears again. I just want to talk about the infrastructure. We're doing this drive, by the way, on the coastal road. And for Mumbai, so starved of good infrastructure of that sense, this has been such a boon. That infrastructure boom, that entire story, do you think that that's a little underplayed? Because our biggest cities are leveling up like never before.
See, I believe infrastructure is going to make a big difference. I think government has done their bit. If we want India to really see a good growth rate for next 20-25 years, what we're talking about Viksit Bharat, government has to do heavy lifting in terms of building good world-class infrastructure.
No, so just on the part of the kind of appetite we're seeing right now for primary market, do you see this as an opportunity for all of those investors who are now really putting their faith in equity, or some will be fooled over here? Because obviously, Behti Ganga mein sab haath dalenge.
See, market would never be 100% safe. That is a role of a regulator to see how to make it safest as possible. But retail have to use their own kind of sense and do their own research when they are investing, especially when they are investing in SME kind of sector. But overall, I am seeing that good healthy IPOs are coming. Last year also we saw around 1,50,000 crores were raised in primary market. So overall, I see it's a good kind of thing which is happening in India. And IPO quality, if you ask me, I've seen this market for last 30 years. So IPO quality recently, what we are seeing in last 3-5 years are really a good quality.
I just wonder if Indian investors are continuing to have patience. You talked about a lot of headwinds that we saw in the last few months. F&O regulations are among them as well. And since you have this bird's eye view of investor appetite, number of demat accounts, activity, etc., are you seeing that appetite continue or a little subdued in terms of volumes?
My experience is that because our country demographic is quite young, so people come for excitement and quick money. And in a year or two, they understand that they would not be able to beat market or create wealth through speculation. And what I have seen is that then they slowly move towards investment, to SIPs in mutual fund, and they create a good portfolio. Speculating in FNO and all that, we have to control it, but it would be difficult to totally stop that.
Just look at this view. This is insane. Like while we're driving, I can get a 360 degree view of the car and everything around it. Do you think there can be a Tesla autopilot?
No,
in India?
It will take time. In India, it will take time because we have to have lots of kind of like road design discipline, driver's discipline, because suddenly a driver changes lane. Bombay still it is good. If you look at Delhi, they change lane like without informing and all that. So I don't think it would be too much for Tesla to really navigate that. Because you are used to Indian roads, so you know something can come, so we are always alert. So if you look at always your 1 feet would be on the brake also when you're accelerating.
Yeah.
You know, suddenly I may change it.
Yeah.
So overall I feel that Tesla has to kind of Indianize lots of things. Currently, like, okay, whatever features are available may not be fully used in India. But India is somewhere, I would say, EV is an attractive proposition. People love it. If at all they are able to work out maintenance-free kind of like car, which EVs are, and bring the cost down of spare parts and everything, it can really become very popular.
You know, I also wonder if EV is going to be the focus that policymakers will take, because after a point, hybrid is also something which your largest auto companies are pushing towards. Your biggest players are not necessarily lock, stock and barrel in EV, right?
See, what I believe is that it's all about sustainability and all that, and Tesla from day one is into this segment. So whatever comes, they would be there with new innovations. So Tesla has to take this as a mission, that how to penetrate deep in India in terms of sustainable energy and all that. If they are able to take this as a mission, work with government and give good solutions, I think this is a right company who can work with this government, and it's a big opportunity for them.
They also have to, I mean, look at their global sales numbers coming in. Their largest market right now is China, where they're losing some steam as well. I mean, if you're not in India as a global player, where are you?
Exactly. So if you look at their numbers, even US, their numbers have dropped. Even in China, it has dropped almost like 10-11%. That's a, I would say, substantial drop. And China would like to promote the local brands. They are gearing up big in terms of EV.
You know, what I find also reassuring is that Tesla has come into India at a time when there are enough players within India as well. It's not as if we're starved for any options. In this price range, lower price range, you have Indian car makers who've come up with some very sharp products out there. So I think that also is a good thing. At least Indian consumer has a choice today, and this is one of the choices.
Yeah, it is a kind of a healthy competition. We have like India first design creators like Tata, Mahindras and all that. But I think there is a space for enough players in EV. See, all said and done, we are seeing kind of an acceptance of EV in India, and we are seeing people want choices. So in this segment, I think people would love to have Tesla at a higher end. At mid and lower end, maybe other manufacturers can get a good market share. So overall, I feel that it is just kind of an underpenetrated, just started kind of a thing market on EV.
Do you think Musk should have come for the launch?
I'm sure that he can't avoid such a big market, and I feel once they decide seriously on India that we are going to put a plant over here, we will surely see him coming over here and inaugurating a plant.
What was your first car?
So I started with Premier Padmini Fiat, if you remember, in 1990s and all that. So it was 40 horsepower just. So it was just a car for commuting. Then I shifted to E-Class Mercedes.
From Fiat, from Premier Padmini, you went to E-Class.
Between I had a few second-hand cars, so it's a long story. So like then I went to Premier Padmini 118 NE, then I bought a Maruti Esteem, then I shifted to Mercedes E-Class.
What is the most basic car that you have right now?
Right now basic for office.
Sabzi kharidne wala car.
Sabzi kharidne wala car. No.
No, I know. I'm not claiming. I'm not claiming that Dinesh Thakkar goes to buy sabzi, but okay.
No, like my driver goes, definitely they have a different car, but I think I should not be talking about that. I should be talking about my cars. For office commuting, I used to use S-Class. Now I'm using the same BMW i7.
Okay.
So that is a kind of like daily commute car. And sometime if I like, I just go in my Lamborghini Urus. Today also came in my Lamborghini Urus.
You know, you talked about performance at the start, before we started our interview also. You talked about how performance is key, which is why you were interested in the story of this company. Is that something you look at in your business philosophy also with your company very closely?
See, I draw parallels between Tesla and my company. See, Tesla came in with a mindset of disrupting, innovating. So it is a big innovation in a car industry. So I believe I want to use this innovation to make financial service accessible in India for retail audience, especially people who have stayed away from market for all these years. I want to use kind of like technology where everything what they want in terms of guidance, in terms of what they have to buy, when they have to shuffle their portfolio, what protection they want to buy, should be so intelligently integrated in a phone. It becomes like an autopilot in Tesla, which is not allowed in India. But at least in financial service, I am hopeful a regulator will allow that when a person is earning their first money, my app can guide them what is the first investment to do. When they're taking an EMI, at what price they should take. When they're taking some risk in terms of leveraging and buying a home, they should know what protection they should buy.
Do you think that the next innovation in this whole capital market space is yet to come?
Oh, big innovation yet to come. I don't think we have seen anything in innovation. Now imagine you want to create a portfolio with investing just 500 rupees. Today, is it possible? Yes, to some extent. Now you want an exotic kind of like portfolio manager to work a portfolio for you, just you want to invest 500 per month. It is possible. Now if you look at like use of blockchain, already there are lots of sandbox experiments going on, that we can tokenize all the assets, we can fractionalize all the assets, and by using this cryptography, all these assets can be held in a very fractional value.
So today if someone's watching this and has the aspiration that they want to buy a Tesla one day, you know, your story as well, they want to follow. You've gone from a Premium Padmini to I don't know how many high performance cars. What would be your guidance to them?
See, I would say that, okay, have a proper roadmap of what are your aspirations in life and how you are going to achieve it. As in my story, I saw Mercedes G-Wagon when I was in college. I was in junior college. So that time I made up a mind that I want to buy this car. But I was not impulsive to think that I want to buy it in a year, or I knew it was going to take time. It was a very costly car. So one has to plan their things, how to fulfill your aspirations. So I would say start your journey with proper SIP. When you get your first check, when you get your first earning, put 5-10% of your earning regularly in SIP, index stocks, index mutual fund or ETFs. That gives you a good appreciation.
Very interesting, the kind of growth that you would see. But in terms of the amount of risk appetite you should have, what is the rule of thumb for that?
See, I believe this asset is considered risky. It is not risky.